Alright, so we're playing a fun little game called Spot the Floating Islands. In a game made entirely of floating islands. I mean, not entirely, we played the whole game not on floating islands so far, but when you look around, everything's floating. Is this an island? Kinda. Not in like an eventful way. We're kind of recreating the Mass Effect Mako experience a little bit, where it's like, well, is there anything on this piece of nondescript rock? I better check. There's something glowing up there. I want to be thorough, but it's not exactly like a tile-based map exactly. Painting workshop danger. We're back in one of these. I think maybe I'll just scrape back and forth across the map from top to bottom and try to just find everything I can on my way to the south. Good start. Which, since our goal is Lumiere, and just see if I can find everything going that way. Maybe we'll even do a quick stop by the Dark Shores at the end, just to see how much stronger I am again. Alright, well, maybe this is the danger part. What? Really? Not saying it was an amazing jump or anything, but it's insane how much it just kind of like homed in on the whole phrasing. I saw a grapple point. I mean, I see it still, but I saw damn it. I saw a prompt to use it, and then it just went away. Alright, I'm a little tired of this level already. I feel like it's being a little messy for reasons that aren't intended right now. Why is the prompt so far away and disappears when you get closer? That's weird. Oh. A sister's brush. A stroke of fear. The monster she painted. It lives in my night. Jealousy twists and love blinds. Her canvas conjured a nightmare. A creature to keep me awake. We must unmake what she created, for it does not belong here. Will you help me? What do you mean? When you can't sleep at night, how will you fight back? Against what she is. We will. Seek the light within the dark. Her mind is a maze of twisted paths, but her heart knows the way. Shape of the beast, a lamp that can be used to awaken the beast. Farewell. These zones have been kind of building up towards something, but I don't really know if I get what's going on. I feel like we've never been able to really do anything in these zones. We make a decision that's kind of cryptic, and the lamp boss is here each time. The story of the beast is written. All the pieces are in place, and the story will unfold. To banish it, one must be bold. Confront the shadows, seek the artist, find the source. Unravel darkness, break the course. Huh. I guess this is the payoff then. This is the third or fourth one I've done. I've definitely been here a fair number of times. Increasingly wondering if what the results of these will be. There's the lamp guy again. Was it lamp lighter? Lamp holder? Lantern man? Lampmaster. Oh, oop. How many damn hands do you have? Wow. Well. Just one shot at the entire party with that. Rude. Time to step it up, I guess. There's more? Didn't even do that before. Damn. Ah, I missed one. Parry combos are for exhausting for that. Do I ever get to fucking get a turn? Okay. Jesus. What a nightmare. Okay, so they do a monstrous amount of damage. Now, 47,000 damage. I think I might need to try this one later. I think this one might need to wait. Jesus Christ. They can hit me for 47,000 damage, so I just need to play perfectly. Alright. This might be one of the ones I do last. Insane. What's that noise? It's like there's entire hidden parts of the maps that I haven't been to. Oh, I can go faster. I'm still allowed to do that during the flying parts. I don't know why I'm surprised by that. I guess because I probably just feel like there's enough buttons involved already that I'm surprised that there's more I can be pressing. Is this the race part? Have I been here before? No? Some kind of climb. Or you have to avoid hazards to get up or something? Oh god.
Law, 37th expedition. Should I feel guilty for enjoying what's left of my life? Should I feel guilty for abandoning the others when the expedition was so clearly doomed? Nobody listened to me. Apparently getting slaughtered by Nevrons or this white-haired man is an appealing future for them all. At least I had fun here. I didn't realize how quickly time has passed. The Gamage is tomorrow. I've been trying to overcome this Gestral's challenge for months now. But it seems even more of a challenge than defeating the Paintress. I guess I'll never see the Gestral's grand prize. That's my only regret in life.
Someone's they dyed it with the dumb Gestral hair. What choices were made. You have to have a very particular personality to put up with a Gestral challenge for the rest of your life. Even if it's just a year. Is it a separate exit? Where are the two portals? This looks evil. This looks terrible. I can barely see what I'm doing. You can't do this to me. What? Oh my god. What is this? What? The platforming is so slow, and you can't see this genuinely feels like garbage, right? I feel like this just is garbage content. What the fuck? You have to see these huge projectiles coming, but you can barely even see where your character is, and every individual leap takes several seconds. It's not even really clear how the controls work. Like this, they're really unresponsive feeling. They've kind of always felt unresponsive, but it's never mattered because the fucking platforming isn't an action segment. Cannot believe this. There. I'm not even proud of myself. That was just not... It wasn't even very hard. It was just shit. It could be both, by the way. There could be a million things wrong with the presentation and controls and style of how it's shown, and it can still be easy, but still bad in how, like, unnecessarily difficult for how hard it is to see what you're doing and so on. It just feels like not good content. What am I looking at? Someone made it here? Color me impressed. You're the second expeditioner who managed to climb this wall. Who were the others? I think it was someone from Expedition 60. But they refused my reward. They said they would never wear any clothes. They would never wear any clothes? But you seem to enjoy clothes. Perhaps you'll enjoy this. I found it in an old farmhouse along a cliff. I want every Gestral game, Achievement said. It's over. It's so soft and pretty. Looking at it made me happy. I hope wearing it makes you happy too. Thank you. That's very kind. It's not quite my size anyway. Uh-huh. Nope. It's terrible. It's a terrible outfit for a terrible mini. Ah! Huh. Well, at least they're over forever. This isn't me being like, and that's why this game is bad or anything. Like, the people, there's somebody that'll take it way too serious. That looks weird. There's insides clipping into this jar. There's people that'll take that stuff too seriously. When I do just think that the Gestral games are genuinely bad, but they're also whatever. I wish you could comfortably write them off as not having rewards, but they also have rewards that I'd want. So I can't even tell if I should do them or not until it's too late. Apparently can't go this way. Alright. See what I mean? Where these islands, everything about them just feels so unfinished and jank. It's so weird! This is an extremely double-A game, though. There's actually a lot of jank in this game. The combat's really good, and the story content's really good. Every moment I'm running around the environment, though, you definitely notice how much there's, like, that disjointed and repeating assets, weird clipping and mistakes here and there. I haven't wanted to go on about it too much, but there's something just looks weird about the overworld. The overworld looks, for a second I thought it might be a little something stylistic, like tilt shift photography or something, but overall I think the overworld just kind of looks odd. And maybe not an entirely intentional way. There's certain elements of this game that remind me of Bennett Foddy, where you just have like weird assets being recycled and repurposed in strange ways. What is going on with this level? This is weird, right? I got the achievement for finishing every Gestral game. But there's a whole second half of the island over there? What's over there? I don't see a mini game over there. But there's like a whole second half of the island and a portal? And they seemingly closed it off by putting some pots here. But why would they leave the functioning portal over there? And for that matter, why is there even a second half of an island at all? I don't think anyone has functioningly different jumping. They seem to have intentionally made it impossible to get over there, but why does it exist then? Because it looks like it doesn't look like background scenery, it looks like part of the game? That's weird. But then when you're here, it's a completely different island with completely different proportions, and there is no equivalent to that island out here. I don't know what they're going for with that either. That's really weird. Why is it like that? I don't understand. I did want to comment on this a little bit, is that Act 3 feels kind of unfinished. There's a few things that kind of point at that, but like, actually interesting, like with the rants I had before about like how the overall campaign structure works, it's worth noting that like the, hang on, I gotta close the door. When it comes to the overall campaign structure, I talked about before about like the strange pacing of experience and challenges and so on, and the game's having a strange approach to the idea of what's optional and what's mandatory and so on. Isn't this a thing over here still? But what's weird is that the game has these really significant story beats here. Like, it feels like you would want to have closure about Elysia and these various, like, loyalty, like Mass Effect 2 loyalty missions you have for each companion. But those are all optional content. And what I found interesting is that I had somebody who was seemingly responding to my video talking about my issues with this game's weird structure and experience and so on. And that person was like firmly in the opposite direction. They think that side content is pointless and they intentionally don't do it. They just do the main content because that's the real experience. And they're like, yeah, dummy, if you do any side content, you're gonna make yourself be over leveled and get too much stuff. So that's why I don't ever do any side content in anything. Presumably is seemingly what they were saying. But then their experience was that in Act 3 starts and then the game just says, go down there. So you know what they did? They just went down there, and they got a really unsatisfying experience where it felt like the game, to them, like the game just disregarded all of the companion characters and didn't care about their feelings about the gommage and all the crazy revelations. It just, from their perspective, the game just dumped all of that stuff, and just didn't follow up on it, and didn't give you any kind of like closure with any of the characters you grew to care about so far. And that's interesting, right? Because in Act 1 and 2, all of the main story stuff is just like the story, and when you go anywhere else to do side stuff, there's a bunch of gameplay there and progression and maybe little observations from party members, but they don't really have character moments or narrative beats. Like the game is really almost empty of story in the side content, which trains you to really think, oh, all of the story is in the main story, and you can safely get all of the main story by just playing the main story, and the side stuff is just gameplay. But then you get to Act 3 and all of the story content is seemingly in side content instead, so it just changed its mind about its own structure. And then the main story just like, you just go conclude things immediately in a few hours, and then it just ends abruptly and doesn't close a bunch of loose ends about like Alicia or even like Ciel's backstory and so on. And what's really interesting is that when that happens, we faced this earlier, when you finish Act 2, you have a mandatory talk to everybody scene at the beginning of Act 3, where you talk to everyone around camp, and you have that version of their scene. That conversation does not prompt you to think that you can talk to them to hang out with them, because you can't hang out with them during that conversation. You have to leave the camp and come back to camp. But if you do what the game tells you to do, which is go down here, then ta-da, you'll go here and then you'll never camp again. So you'll never get the prompt to hang out with people again in order to get more hangout scenes. And then even then, what's really weird is you have to brute force the hangout scenes and do them over and over again, because there are no longer any narrative beats that indicate that, you've beat a milestone of the story. Time to talk to everybody and hang out with them again. That never happens again because there's no more narrative beats. And yet, each party member has like 2 or 3 separate scenes you have to trigger by just talking to them over and over again, and then clicking hang out each time to trigger another scene, despite the fact that nothing has unlocked them. Even the language of the game has been very, very consistent so far, in that you trigger those scenes by beating the next narrative beat, like one of these axons, for example. Then you talk to everybody. Then you beat an axon. Then you talk to everybody. You beat this zone. Then you Lumiere. Then you talk to everybody. Like, it's a very consistent pattern. And they clearly wrote more scenes for everyone and put them in the game, thankfully. But the structure that allows you to talk to them ceases to exist. So you can just spam through all of the conversations in a row till you get to the loyalty mission. Do that one, which sometimes is a big one and sometimes is really brief, and then wrap up their cutscene. And then there's a follow-up conversation that you can do. Like, there's a conversation where you finish that cutscene, where you finish the loyalty mission side thing, but then you can also talk to them again and hang out with them again, and you can also do that one immediately too with no downtime and not having to earn it by playing any story content. So it's really weird. That stuff existing indicates that they had a plan for that stuff, where you had to do like narrative beats around this world still, like you did in Act 2, to unlock those. But instead in Act 3, the entire logic of the game changes. If you do what I'm doing and you're being completionist about it, you're gonna inevitably find those conversations by just talking to them at some point, because you have the time. And then you'd be like, huh, this is a weird structural change, but I guess I can just do this now and it won't be that big of a deal. It'll be confusing and weird. It feels oddly like it's signposting that the game is unfinished in some way, that it suddenly changes like that. But if you trusted the game up to that point to give you the main story in the main story, And maybe you can argue that stuff's not the main story, but it is like significant narrative moments with the main characters, which is where, and that's all been in the main story so far. So it's really weird that it specifically puts it in side content out of nowhere after a whole game of it being in the main content. And you can say they should just know to talk to everybody and do all of the hangout scenes. Yeah, but when you talk to them at the beginning of Act 3, you do have a walk around and camp and talk to everybody scene. And none of them trigger those conversations. They don't let you do the hangout scene in response to those conversations. So it's the game signaling to you in that moment. You can interpret that as being, oh, we're out of those. There are no more hangout scenes. Time to do the final boss. When you're about to fight the Paintress, the game says, and by the game I mean Monoko. Monoko says, "This is the point of no return," which is a thing that video games tell the character in a fourth wall break moment, that they tell the player that when you're about to hit the point of no return. Where the implication being that you could do all the open world stuff until now, but once you do this thing, you're in the final sequence of the story, and you no longer have freedom anymore. So you just gotta lock in and commit to the story now, and you won't be able to go back if you go any further, which is a lie. Monoko lies to you, which is weird because that's a really consistent bit of language that all RPGs have known for a while now. At some point, they frequently say that you're going to hit the point of no return out loud to make it really clear to you, either via a pop-up or a character saying something like that. And then you're like, oh man, I better turn back and do side content now. But in my case, I already did all the side content, and I was like, that's confusing he said that because I don't have flying yet. And then you unlock flying, and I'm like, that wasn't the point of no return at all. No status quo changed it. I mean, the narrative changed status quo, but when you hit the point of no return, quote unquote, it just becomes Act 3, and you still have all the same party members, and you can still do the open world, and you can do it even more now because you have flying. But the game did tell you it's the point of no return, which would indicate to many players that you're supposed to be done now. So maybe you noticed a specific spot out of reach and thought you should fly to it. But if you're doing the main story so far, you actually haven't been consistently exploring the map that much because you're just doing the main story by chasing the waypoints, because apparently that's the correct way to play the game, according to the comments that keep saying that I'm playing the game wrong. Apparently you're supposed to just chase the waypoints and then beat the game that way. But if that's the case, then players that do that are just going to be, oh, I unlocked flying. That means I can go back to Lumiere, and then you fly to Lumiere and beat the game, and you miss all of this Act 3 narrative stuff that they expect you to suddenly change playstyle to go after now, after a whole game of playing completely differently. It's just really weird. See? Like, this is what I mean. It's not that the game is, like, irredeemably bad or anything. In fact, it's very, very good, and I keep trying to make that clear. But it's super weird. It's super weird. There is no lens you could really apply to how to approach this game's content that consistently makes sense, because the game keeps changing its own style of how its own game really overall works. It's just a really, really weird video game from a structural standpoint, and I do genuinely think that it's unfinished on some level, or at the very least that they had very different plans for Act 3 that didn't make it to the final version, and maybe some of that content's just in Act 2 or something, or they may change their mind about the narrative in general, but like, the game has content planned around Act 3 seemingly having a different structure than it does, but then they kept that content but changed Act 3 seemingly. It's really weird. That's my only point. It's just really weird. Sunless cliffs. Because people will point at this or that video game and be like, see, that's why you're supposed to know that because it's drawing from a reference to this specific type of game. But then not only can I point at another game right next to that game that completely contradicts that entire approach to interpreting this game, you also can't apply that interpretation to the entire game, because half the game contradicts that interpretation too of what the intended playstyle is. It looks like the same background we have at camp. There's like 2 side paths around here. Big obvious lamps. Let's check the less obvious side first. Nope. Nope. What is that? It looks like a narbacular drop portal. That's weird. Chroma moves inside the frame. Only one person may enter at a time. What is gonna happen? Get ready. Oh, it's a mime? I was gonna say that's a mime sound, isn't it? God damn it. A mime. Oh! Ow.
Just try it.
Can we retry faster? The attack I'm losing to is so quick, and the fucking failure screen takes like a minute. Alright.
Oh well.
Is the timing weirder? And this is a rough start. Obscur. I think that's what they're saying. The wait between each attempt is long enough that it makes me want to multitask. Really? Am I too early, I assume?
Not impressed.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Let's carve a path.
I mean, I guess they're not supposed to take damage anyway until they're shatterable, but damn. Well, 40 burn damage. That's a comical amount of applied burn. 76 burn?
Bring it on.
Just gotta lock in. Just gotta lock in. Just gotta lock the fuck in. Just gotta lock in. Just gotta lock in. Just gotta lock in. Just gotta lock in. Gotta fill that shatter meter. No mistakes. No mistakes. No regrets. Oh no. I pressed it so early. I pressed that so early. I haven't been stuck like this for a while because we've been doing the main story for a bit. So I've been genuinely stuck in a fight for a while. But this isn't that annoying sweet spot of being kind of doable, but doing unreasonable damage. So we're home sweet home at dying instantly and starting over and over again, but also like maybe I can do it. I had him halfway to break. I also ended up taking 70,000 damage from burn per turn, which is hilarious. I wonder if Perfect Break is any better at breaking or anything. Or if I should use Endbreaker to extend a stun later or something.
Not impressed.
Ah, too late. Oh, this sucks. Obscure. The moment I heard this, the fact that I recognized the song first, so I was like, oh my god, is this a fucking mime? And then I saw the mime. Doesn't he only have 2 attacks? So I really just have to lock in and stop fucking up ever.
Ready to strike.
I was halfway to break that one time, and I had Gradient almost charged. I bet his attacks get longer. It's like a chromatic mime.
Bring it on.
They're totally gonna blindside me with longer mime combos and fuck me up. That was a lot of break. So every counter has RNG to how much I might get out of it too. That's not gonna break. That sucks. I wasted my time.
Oh well.
I have no concept of how long a break's gonna take to fill. It just fills by such insane random intervals, it feels like. Medium physical damage to all enemies. 1 hit applies a mark. That feels kind of shit. He's already marked. Unfortunately, I don't know how much damage anything ever is, because they don't really tell you. Wait, why are they listed in the order of 1, 3, 2? Revives if I die would be good, although I have to really save up for that. Why are they listed in that order? That's so weird. We didn't get break. Did I get a break? No. Okay. Rank S on break. We don't need rank S on a break. Very high. Extreme light damage. 5 AP. So I can spend 2 more. Let's do this to apply a mark before I do the break. Wait, no! I thought that Gradient doesn't use my turn up. Did I hallucinate that part?
Bring it on.
God damn it, man! I thought Gradient didn't use my turn. Maybe I threw myself off by using Gradient as Versa, who has bonus turns already? No, because his weapon used to only get bonus turns from using attack. I don't know. I'm confused now. Ah, I'm so annoyed I just blew that.
Just try it.
God damn it.
Let's cover path.
He gets so much burn on his normal attacks. It's so out of control. 88 burn. That wasn't very good counter damage. That was way better counter damage, Dan. In that cloud of numbers, I'm just like, I sure hope these attacks are landing. It seems to be mostly a counter fight in terms of how to get the build up I need. Breakable.
This.
Okay, so get down to 5.
Ready to strike.
Got him. Big break. Oh, I have no AP. I guess, yeah, that fucks up my economy and my I have to do regular attacks to get AP. So I'm not going to be able to reapply stun, unfortunately. Definitely can get some attacks in, though. Oh my god, the burn. Oh my god, the burn. Okay. I get 2 turns, and I want to reapply stun. Wait, you can... Oh no, can you... I fucking hate Verso sometimes. Can you only reapply stun when you're exactly at A? That's obnoxious. Well, I want to use it for that bonus damage at least. So use my first attack, then get a bonus attack where I have 9 AP now. There we go. We did it. We did it with my giant cool brain. Max health reduced to 1. What? Why? What? The price is paid and the reward is served. The mime has conveyed his true art, unreserved. I can make Verso bald. Wow. At long last. No, thank you. Oh god, you can do it with every character. Just to make them bald. What a fate. I'm not really in a hurry to do this with every character. I don't really want to make them bald. I don't know if there's more rewards beyond that. They might give you the 1,000,000 experience each time, which is seems a little out of hand. I think it was like almost 2 million. Yeah, he just goes into active flapping mode. I believe our next stop, if I'm going from top to bottom, is going to be, yeah, this weird spot. Renoir's Drafts.
We're below the monolith, where he was sealed.
Oh, careful.
This feels reminiscent of Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. This is wild looking. So what are they hiding here? At the time I was going to put it off because it said danger, but we've encountered more of those, so I think that's just most of the remaining world at some point. I'm also just trying to come up with this, have a system for being able to tell where I have and haven't gone. Ah. Got it. So it's a series of upsetting fights. Might as well take them in order, since I think they want me to go here first. Are they guarding anything? Is there a path back here? Oh, there is. So maybe I should try that path first then, because it seems like the optional one. Because this looks like more of a secret then. With the 3 upsetting dog monsters?
Perfect.
Why would I want to set my health to 1, I wonder? I have no idea. It says, specifically says maximum health, not current health. If you set your health to 1, then you have to play perfectly, obviously. But it could be a trick way of triggering. It's like doing a tier stone run in Dark Souls. Like, there's a lot of low health effects that give you bonuses. But if your health is at 1 out of 1, your health is literally low. But comparatively, percentage-wise, it's not low. So that none of those effects would trigger. In fact, it'd be impossible to trigger them because you could never. You're in a constant. You're only in a binary state of full health or dead. You can never have 10% of your health. These are horrible. I don't know if I can attack the freaking eyeball. So this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Oh, they're... Were they just healed? Wait, that was the crit number, not the heal number, right? The green icon of nature damage makes me kind of feel like I just fucked up and healed people all the time. This is the worst thing that I've ever looked at. I don't like being here. Oh, it was so delayed. Damn. It's so delayed. I wait like a full second or 2 before I freaking do it. Damn. Oh, they have 500 turns. Oh, great. They do that too. Okay. I gotcha. Oh, no. This is cursed. What? They all get the healing? Oh, this is cursed. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna beat this. Okay, I counted one of them that time. Oh, it's a full team heal. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. So this place is fucked up. And I think I'm gonna have to come... Got 2 places that I'm considering coming back to later, at least so far. Just gonna see what other kind of places I can check out first. Wow. But I think a lot of them might just come down to, nah, you gotta just hunker down and memorize the parry combos. We might just be back in that territory, which I kind of got used to not being in with how things were going before. Easy main story is a hell of a drug.